Russia-Ukraine war news updates. Blinken and Austin sneak into Ukraine's capital to meet with Zelensky. Near the Polish-Ukrainian border, after a secrecy-shrouded visit to Kiev, U.S. Secretary of State Blinken said Russia is failing in its war aims and Ukraine is succeeding. The trip by Blinken and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin was the highest-level American visit to Ukraine's capital since Russia invaded in late February. U.S. promises more Ukraine aid, Biden announces veteran envoy. The top officials from Washington told Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and his advisors that the U.S. would provide more than $300 million in foreign military financing, and had already approved a $165 million sale of ammunition. Russian diplomat says ceasefire unlikely right now. A deputy to Russia's ambassador to the UN took to the stakeout podium at the UN Monday to say that a ceasefire in Ukraine is not a good option right now. Explosion in Russian-occupied Crimea results in casualties, Ukrainian official says. A senior official in Ukraine's Interior Ministry says there has been a large explosion in the town of Crimea in the Luhansk region, an area recently occupied by Russian forces. And Secretary General is on his way to Moscow, UN spokesman says. Russia bombs 5 railway stations in central and western Ukraine. 5 railway stations in central and western Ukraine were hit by Russian airstrikes in the space of an hour on Monday, as the war ground on relentlessly in the south and east of the country. CNN team and paramedics get caught in Russian shelling. While shadowing paramedics in Kharkiv, Ukraine, CNN's Clarissa Ward and her team were forced to run for safety after getting caught in Russian shelling. Elon Musk, world's richest man, reaches deal to buy Twitter for $44 billion. Elon Musk has reached a $44 billion deal to buy Twitter in a takeover that will give the world's richest man control of a social network with more than 200 million users. Dow Jones gains as tech stocks fight, Twitter gains as Elon Musk takes control, Donald Trump-esque AC craters. JCPenney owners offer to buy arch-rival Kohl's for $8.6 billion. The owners of JCPenney have made an offer to acquire arch-rival Kohl's in a deal that could value the department store chain at upwards of $8.6 billion. The Chevrolet Corvette is officially going electric. General Motors will produce a fully electric Chevrolet Corvette, GM President Mark Roos announced in a LinkedIn post Monday morning. Pixel Watch appears to have the same health sensors as Fitbit Charge 5. With the design fully leaked, questions about Google's Pixel Watch turn to the software and internal hardware specs. One clue about the health capabilities is how the Pixel Watch's rear sensors are very similar, if not identical, to ones found on the Fitbit Charge 5 and Lux. Apple plans to imminently remove games and apps on the App Store that have not been recently updated if developers don't submit an update for approval within 30 days. Crystal Palace 0-0 leads. Leeds scrap their way to Precious Point despite Crystal Palace's late push. A second successive clean sheet on the road earned Jesse Marsch's side a point that could prove priceless. Real Madrid close to agreeing deal with Chelsea's Antonio Rudiger. Real Madrid are close to signing Antonio Rudiger on a free transfer after reaching a verbal agreement with the Chelsea defender over a lucrative 4-year contract. Jesus refuses to commit his future to Manchester City beyond the summer. Gabriel Jesus has refused to commit his future to Manchester City beyond this season, with the forward having a year on his terms from July. Nico Rosberg delivers verdict on Lewis Hamilton 2022 F1 woes and rising tension at Mercedes. Lewis Hamilton had a nightmare Emilia-Romagna GP weekend, finishing 13th and lapped by Max Verstappen with Mercedes still far off their rivals with their car. Nico Rosberg, Hamilton's former teammate and rival, has a say on the crisis and whether driver and team can recover. Phil Mickelson asks for permission to play in Saudi Golf League opener, enters PGA Championship and US Open. Phil Mickelson, who has not played since February, has applied to the PGA Tour for permission to play at the Centurion Club in June. The reigning champion has entered next month's PGA Championship too, along with this year's US Open.